The first war on the earth between the nations is called the Battle of Megiddo, fought on April 16, 1457 BC, 3,400 years ago, in which 12,300 people are killed and 4,400 are injured. The conflict started between Egyptian Empire and the king of Mitanni, Canaan. Have you ever wondered which battle in the world was the first one that we can clearly study in the history? And what if that battle happened more than 3,400 years ago? By the end of this documentary, you will discover how one decision in an ancient battle changed the way wars were fought and why historians still study it today. Thousands of years ago, the world looked very different. There were no modern countries, no airplanes, and no modern weapons. Instead, powerful kingdoms ruled different lands. One of the strongest of these kingdoms was ancient Egypt. At that time, Egypt was ruled by a young and powerful pharaoh named Thutmose III. He wanted Egypt to stay strong and keep control over important lands and trade routes. But far away from Egypt in a region called Canaan, many city rulers started to worry about Egypt's growing power. So several cities joined together. They created a coalition to stop Egypt. The main center of this was a city called Megiddo. Megiddo was not just a normal city, it was located on a very important road used for trade and travels. Whoever controlled this city could control the movements of goods between regions. So when these cities rebelled, Egypt had to respond. If Egypt lost Megiddo, its power in the region could become weak. According to ancient records written on the walls of the Karnak temple complex, Pharaoh Thutmose III decided to lead his army north toward Megiddo. His army was large. It included thousands of soldiers, horses, and war chariots. They marched for many days toward the city. But before reaching the battlefield, the army faced an important decision. There were three roads that could lead them to Megiddo. Two roads were wide and safer, but the third road was very narrow. It passed through a tight mountain path. Many of the Pharaoh generals advised him to take the safer road. They were afraid that enemies could attack them if they entered the narrow pass. If the army was trapped there, it could be a disaster. But Pharaoh thought differently. He believed the enemy expected them to choose the safer road. So he made a surprising decision. He ordered his army to take the narrow and dangerous path. It was a big risk. The soldiers slowly moved through the tight mountain pass. For hours, the army walked in a long line between the hills. If the enemy had attacked them there, the army could have been destroyed. But something unexpected happened. When the Egyptian army came out of the mountains, the enemy was not ready. The Canaan forces had prepared for the other roads. They never expected Egypt to appear from that narrow path. This surprise gave Egypt a big advantage. Soon the armies met near Megiddo. War chariots raced across the land. Arrows into the skies. Soldiers fought bravely for control of the city. The Egyptian army quickly started winning the battle. But then something interesting happened. Instead of chasing the enemy leaders, many Egyptian soldiers began collecting items left on the battlefield. They picked up weapons, arms, and chariots. Because of this delay, the enemy leaders escaped into the city of Megiddo. The battle was not finished yet. No, the war turned into a long siege. The Egyptian army surrounded the city. They blocked supplies and food from entering. For many months, the people inside Megiddo struggled. Finally, the city surrendered. Egypt had won the war. But the importance of this battle was not just the victory, it was the strategy used in the battle. Historian believes the Battle of Megiddo is the first battle in the history that was carefully recorded in detail. Because of these records, we can understand how ancient leaders planned their war. We can see how Pharaoh Tutmos III used surprise and smart thinking to defeat his enemies. His decision to choose the risky path became a famous example of military strategies. Even today, many military historians study this battle. But Megiddo is also known for another reason. The name of this place later appeared in the book of Revelation. In that book, a place called Armageddon is mentioned. For many people, it represents the idea of a final and great battle. But long before stories were connected to this place, Megiddo was simply a real battlefield, a battlefield where a bold decision changed the history. And that is why the Battle of Megiddo is still remembered today. It reminds us of something very important. Sometimes the most unexpected choice can create the biggest victory.